TSU head coach Eddie George, the team, a convincing win over Mississippi Valley State in the John Merritt Classic, 1-0. Now they're going to face the number 2 ranked FCS team in the country at North Dakota State. So, Coach, some thoughts on your team, then we'll go to some questions.
Yeah, really happy about the win last week. Going into week one, you never know what you have until you go up against somebody different. You bang on each other pretty much all for the 4 or 5 weeks during winter fall camp, and you see some good things. You don't quite trust what you see. Like, is it the competition, or are we really this good or this bad? So we had a chance to really assess. Okay, this is where we are. This is where we need to go. I saw some encouraging things on all 3 phases of our team. Offensively, we're able to hit some big explosive plays. Didn't really have a chance to establish the run like we wanted to because of the passing attack was really working for us. Felt really good about our defensive unit. They played really sound for 3 quarters. Lost focus in the fourth quarter. That's something that we really harped on, was not finishing the fourth quarter. We got outscored for 21-10 in that fourth quarter, so that was something that was of concern. The penalties were also a big concern. 10 penalties for over 100 yards as well. So the scoreboard was one thing, but there are some things that if we plan on, being in the conversation in November for a championship or anything of that nature, we got to deal with the things that we can control, and that's pre-snap penalties, pre and post-snap penalties. That's the number one thing that we got to do. But overall, I feel like we're in a good place. Clearly, we have a huge challenge ahead of us. It's going to be a very physical game. It's something that I'm really excited about. See how our guys here up against one of the top brands in college football.
Thanks, Coach. We'll go to some questions again. If you have one, let me know down in the chat. We got a couple people queued up. We'll go with Eric Peterson first. Go ahead, Eric.
Hey, Coach. Just what first-year impressions of NDSU from what you saw against Colorado last week, and what kind of stood out about the way they played in that game?
Oh man. One, they have the pedigree of a champion. They don't quit. They don't blink at adversity. Doesn't matter where they play. It can be at home, on the road. You're going to get the same thing from this team. This unit is battle tested. They have great leadership. They have great experience. They are the epitome of what you want your football team to look like. Through and through, just a great cohesive unit. And what sticks out to me is their physicality in the trenches. That's what they preach. That's what they teach. That's what they do. They fly off the ball offensively. The run game is very violent. The quarterback is probably the best player that we've seen since we've been here. And their defense is very sound. Up front, their defensive line is the heart and soul of their defense. Very strong and talented and deep unit. And, that's what sticks out to me at this point in time, is that it's going to be a physical war, that their brand of football, that's who they are. They stand on that.
Draylen Ellis had a big opening week for you. Just describe his play and how important it is to have a veteran quarterback heading into a game like this.
Yeah, Draylen had a really solid fall camp. He really has embraced the new offense of our new offensive coordinator, Travis Partridge. He came from UT Martin. Really just took what the defense gave him. Just didn't do too much. We kept them upright. Didn't get touched hardly. No quarterback sacks. That's the big thing for us. And the fact that Draylen has played a lot of football, has been through a lot of adversity, and he's finally, I believe he's going to have a really great year for us because he's taken the coaching and he's taken ownership of the offense. So having that under our belt is going to, hopefully give us an opportunity to win the ball game.
Thank you.
Let's go to Brandon King next.
Unmute myself. Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Hey, Brandon. How you doing, my man?
Pretty good. I see you got the memo about the blue zip up, so good job. But wanted to talk about and you kind of touched on a bit earlier the physical nature that NDSU is going to bring to the table. My first question is, are you doing anything different from a practice standpoint to kind of prepare your guys to deal with that level of physicality?
No, that's what we try to do. That's what we do. You know, we preach physicality. We preach violent hands. We preach everything that we do is with violence and speed, and to finish, with relentless effort. That's what we do. So it's nothing going to be different for us. That's the brand of football that we want to play, and that's okay. We just want to get a great measuring stick to see where we are when we pair up against this unit. We respect this university, the brand, like I said before. In fact, I hired Tyler Roll as my offensive coordinator earlier this year before he left for Iowa State. So, that's something that I believe in as a player. That's what I put my hat on, and that's the philosophy that I believe in. So it's nothing that we're going to do to change that. They have some massive guys up front, and this is a system that they've been doing since the beginning of time. It seems like, but they tweak some things here and there. But what you're going to get is a unit that flies off the ball up front, and they're very nasty. And that's my brand of football, and I appreciate that.
Okay. And then, the running game has been so much talked about, but against Colorado, they threw for 292 yards, and that's the most they've thrown for, I believe, since 2019. I think it was against Western Illinois, something like that. So when in your preparation for them, is that now you're having to consider that added dimension potential of now the pass game as well?
Of course. When like I said, Cam Miller, he's able to do it all. Not only are you concerned with his ability to run the football, I believe him and the other quarterback, they led their team in touchdowns last year, I think, with 26. Between the two of them, they run the ball efficiently. Now the element of him throwing the football, his ability to sit in the pocket, you can get outside the pocket and still look downfield to make the throws, cause some concern. So it's going to be a lot on our defense. It's going to put a strain on us to really be disciplined in terms of our eye discipline, keeping our eyes on our work, covering the receivers, really being disciplined in our rush lanes. And when we get a chance to get him down, we have to get him down. It's going to be fundamental football. He's a big kid, strong, great leadership, and it's going to be a great challenge for us.
All right. Well, thank you, Coach, and good luck this upcoming week. Get it up.
Thank you.
Let's go to Mike McFeely next, and then Eric has a follow-up question. Go ahead, Mike.
Sure. Hi, Eddie.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Your name and your program's name was being thrown around Fargo a lot, obviously earlier this year, because you had hired Tyler Roll to be your offensive coordinator for a week or two or whatever it ended up being.
Yes.
Can you walk us through how that whole thing went down again? I know you've touched on it some before, but kind of walk us through that. That was kind of a different situation up here because Tyler is such a well-known guy up in this community for so long.
Yeah. No, I when I first took the job, I reached out to Tyler just to pique his interest in terms of his career, what he wanted to do. I mean, I was taking a shot in the dark pretty much. I'm a big fan of football. I'm a big fan of NDSU and what they've done, what they've accomplished, especially in their run game. And that's the vision that I had for our offense. And at that particular time, he was like, hey, I'm not interested, whatever. And that was fine. And then, I think right around the holidays or so, or right around January or so, I got a call from him, and I was in the process of finding a new coordinator. And we talked, and we shared some ideas. I told him what my vision was. I told him, what our brand is. And he was excited about that. And he accepted the job, came here for about 2-3 weeks, very excited, got the ball rolling, put some assistants with him. And another opportunity presented itself, and off that went. But for the most part, that's the vision for my program. That's how I see my offense. That's how I want to build my offense, with toughness, with grit, with the teaching, of power and duo, and that's what I've grew up. That's what I built my playing career on, and that's the closest thing that I've seen to what I wanted to do. And Tyler is a great guy, man. I love him and his family. For the short time that I've gotten to know him, I see why he is who he is. He's well known in that community, and he's going to be very, very successful wherever he goes. And just the short time that I had with him was powerful.
So you touched on this earlier a little bit, but your opening game, Draylen was throwing more than you guys were running. And I read so much about, I've been trying to keep up with the NDSU's opponents, and it sounds like you really like your running backs. We're all kind of expecting you to kind of, run the ball, and you ended up throwing. And you said that was just a product of how the first game unfolded more than anything else.
Yeah. I think we're taking what the defense gives you. And I think we seek balance. I'm not stubborn to the point where, hey, I'm going to run the wishbone and try to run it, 50, 60 times a game. I believe in balance. I definitely do that. If the pass game is rolling, that's what they're giving us. So they're giving us looks that require for us to throw the football. We want to be able to do that, take advantage of that. And if they give us looks where we are able to run the football and the numbers match up, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do it with physicality. It's the balance that I seek. And I believe that any great offense, you have to have a really strong power run game. I believe in that. Joe Gibbs, the great Joe Gibbs, who's coached for now the Commanders, were the Skins back in the day, believed in, 3 basic run concepts. Power run game, it was power left, power right, student body left, student body right, duo. And 10 or 13 different pass concepts, and kept it to that. It's keeping it simple in terms of play calling, but making it complex in terms of the looks that you get in different personnel group. And so that appealed to me. Yes.
So given that, then when you watch the Colorado tape against NDSU, were you surprised to see NDSU doing what they were doing? Because they forever have been a power.
Right.
And some of us who followed them and covered them for 30 years are surprised as heck too at what they're doing. So was it a surprise to you?
It really was. I think the new offensive coordinator, he played coached at Wyoming last year, I believe. That he brings that element to it, and there's definitely more, I guess, creativity in the passing game than I guess we're accustomed to seeing from NDSU. But let's keep it clear. Let's be real. They are who they are. They're going to look to bludgeon you in the trenches. A-gap power, duo. That's what they're accustomed to doing. They're going to try to, get 350 yards rushing. They've been the top, rushing offense for the last 5 or 6 years, the top 2, top 3 every single year. So I don't expect them to get away from that too much. But the element of them throwing the football and having balance and loosening up the box does cause concern and keeps you up late at night trying to figure that thing out.
Okay, one more. Talk about the progress of your program. 4th year, I believe, in
Yes,
Nashville
sir.
for you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you making progress? Are you going the right direction? Do you feel like it, or where do you
I
need to
feel
be?
like we are. I think we are. Last year was our first winning season. Started off 6-2, ended up 6-5. Didn't quite finish as strong as we would have liked. I believe that we're getting the right coaches in the building, we're getting the right players in the building. We're heading in a great direction as far as leadership. Got a new president coming in that has a broad vision, a grand vision for what Tennessee State's going to be. So I think we're heading in the right direction.
All right. Thanks, Eddie. See you on Saturday.
Thank you, Mike. All right, see you later.
Eric said his question got asked. So, Coach, appreciate your time this morning. Thanks for joining us. Best of luck, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks a lot.